Paradoxical Experience. Yo, what's up? It's someone that's no one, and welcome back to today's report. Today's report was sent in by Gripsaid, where he took 2 tabs of acid. And here's the full report details. Alright, so here we have quite the acid trip. Another banger sent in by a sub. Here Gripsaid drops some tabs on a school night, and he ends up having a trip that lasts around 20 hours or so. This is well described, and there's some key effects of a psychedelic trip brought up. I'm sure some of you will find it relatable, and I'll just say he ends up tripping at school somewhat. But I'm sure you'll enjoy this report, so without further ado, let's dive right into it. I took 2 tabs of LSD and put them under my tongue. I waited for 40 minutes for it to kick in. Then the fun, or the acid craziness, starts. I was watching a psych substance video on the difference of DMT and acid, and that was when I experienced the first effects. I was laughing uncontrollably, and my vision had what I call Google Deep Dreams, which tripped me out. My body started feeling weird, and it felt like it was swirling with energy. I was filled with intense catharsis that was uncontrollable, and it made me want to run miles and miles. After fucking around with the come-up effects, I decided to look at myself in the mirror. I looked like a different person and noticed the similarity I had with different people. It was a new way to look at myself. The only thing I did in the bathroom was pace around and freak out. Going to the bathroom to look at myself felt like a ritual, which I did like 8 times. There was this feeling of something grand going to happen. Like time itself was going to become a circle, and I would meet myself in the past 30 minutes ago. Or some shit like that. This obviously didn't happen. I then go to my room. It's around 9 p.m. and I just chill. This is where the main shit happens. So first off, I was hearing the descending shepherd tone, and in my mind there was an infinite fractal moving and cycling. At around this time is when the cycle or loops started to annoy me. The energy in my body did this thing where it felt like it was going in circles and resetted. It is really hard to describe. Well, a lot of things on acid are hard to describe, but I got this resetting feeling that kept on cycling and cycling. Then, this was the most interesting effect. Randomly out of nowhere, I felt like a woman. And mind you, I'm not trans or ever felt like this, but I felt like a woman for like 5 minutes. To me, this was a message since I have a trans sister. And feeling this made me understand my sister even more, so thank you LSD. Next, I decided to listen to music, and hearing music on LSD is amazing, but for some reason, it added on to the problems. Every song I listened to sounded really fucking weird, and sounded like the beginning wherever in the song. One of the songs I listened to was looping in my head for the rest of the trip. It was the very end of the Survival performance of Third Eye by Tool. This annoyed the shit out of me. Combined with the descending shepherd tone, the never-ending resetting feeling, and the fucking guitar whine. Needless to say, this was a difficult trip. But no, it just had to get worse. When I was just chilling, the thought that existence itself was going to end entered my mind, and half of me thought that the world was going to end. But thank God part of me knew that this was just the acid's doing. When that happens, all the fractals I was seeing were red, and had an evil tone, but I managed to control that and not go haywire. After chilling around trying to sleep with the lights turned off, you can't sleep on acid, is where it shifts. Laying on my bed, I look up and see this fractal space that looked fucking awesome, and it made sense. The feeling that it gave is something I can't put into words, and I get emotional thinking about it for some reason. By the way, that was the best part. Then another aspect of this trip was the audible hallucinations, which was the shepherd tone, sentences that looped in my head, which were, "This the way, it is you, can't do anything about it," and weird sounds such as, duh. Then the most fucking cool thing I experienced was the rug in my bathroom. It was warping and changing colors, and I witnessed the spirit world. This was fucking insane, cause I fainted hearing all these dead moaning sounds, much like Mantra by Tool. What followed were tribal people hitting drums, jumping up and down with a sensation in my pineal gland. This gave understanding of sacrifice and spirit. To do something you want, you had to have spirit in it, and had to sacrifice something to achieve that level you want to reach. I stayed up all night fucked out of my mind, and next I had to go to school. I took a shower, which for some reason felt like a cow slaughter factory. Dressed up, petted my cat, got in my friend's car who knew I was on acid, and drove off. When we were reaching our destination, I attempted to explain what acid is like. I failed. Then we got to the school. I departed my friend and went to the office to get my hearing assistance device. I'm hard of hearing. When I left the office, the school felt like a factory, and I immediately felt overwhelmed. Then my friend meets me along with this dopey-ass dumbass kid who was all like, "Dude, oh my god, you are tripping, ha ha ha, LOL, oh my god." This kinda pissed me off. I talked to my friend and ignored the dumbass with him. My friend seemed two-dimensional, a simple creature, which fucked with me a bit. Then the first hour started. Nothing really happens in the trip, and luckily I was in full control of myself. It said I was weird as fuck. It felt like I could read people's insecurities and understand them. The trip almost went bad in second hour. Third hour, I just sat there and chilled. Fourth hour, a kid knew I was tripping and tried to scare me, but I knew he was trying to fuck with me. Fifth hour is where I got emotional and sat on the ground chilling, since we don't do anything in that class. Sixth hour, I just do the classwork high as fuck. Then the day ends. I go on the bus and the trip just immediately ends. The whole trip lasted fucking 20 hours, filled with body cycles, shepherd tone, the fucking guitar whine, and fuck man, it was annoying, difficult, amazing, and spiritual. I still think about this trip to this day, and I think it was a reflection of mental health since I felt split emotionally which trip was bad and good. Don't be on acid in school, obviously. Acid is a powerful drug and can go two ways. You can lose your mind, or you can solidify your mind. Be safe, and remember, life is meaningless.